Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for our second WrestleMania in the save, WrestleMania 38. I've had a pretty good build up to it. I've managed to get a lot of consistent booking back to back, so the storylines have managed to flow a lot better, and I'm really hoping we can pull this off. We're going all out. We've got the legendary band in, we've got a A-list celebrity, and an extra 2 million on the set. We are going to try for a 100 rating here. I'm taking a massive gamble. My main event is under once in a lifetime, because it is the first time they'll face each other in a one-on-one match, in TW at least. Certainly not the case in real life. And they are both over 75% on their way to the Hall of the Immortals. In fact, both of them are definite future inductees. Last year's WrestleMania drew 46,000 in attendance. We only got 75, and that was because at the end, basically, we had crowd burnout, which absolutely ruined the show. Hence, we ended up with a random couple of matches in there, which was not ideal. But we've learned from it, and that's turned off. So hopefully we can do this. But remember, 90% is on the main event. So if that flops, this show flops completely. The card's been put on Reddit, so a few people liked what they saw, didn't like what they saw, so that's going to be interesting, but let's crack on. So, last thing to add, this is our last day on this particular product. We changed to Classic Balance tomorrow, so perfect timing. Ushers in a new era, so that's quite cool. After WrestleMania 38, I've already decided who looks likely to get traded. These are not 100% confirmed, but basically, drafts tomorrow, in game. I'll be moving people about, and we'll be basically changing our pay-per-view schedule to have one Raw and one SmackDown pay-per-view per month, apart from the Big Four, or Big Five it would be, and Money in the Bank as well. And we'll also hopefully get a lot more takeovers as well. But I've blathered on enough. This is WrestleMania 38. Let's get the show on the road. Thanks for tuning in. So we start off the show with our WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. 10 participants in this one, 48,000 watching in the SHI Stadium in New Jersey. We had Bianca Belair, Billie Kay, Io Shirai, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Peyton Royce, Ruby Riott, Shotzi Blackheart, Sonya Deville and Tegan Nox participating. The terrible pre-show matchup saw Bianca Belair win the Battle Royal in 12:20, and the final elimination was Shotzi Blackheart, who also got the most eliminations. But your winner of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, Bianca Belair, the former NXT Women's Champion. So a 53 rated there. Liv and Shotzi were off their game, but these are a lot of the women that will be getting good pushes going into 2022. Well, they basically reset after WrestleMania, and a few people will be moving around as well. After that, we had another Battle Royal, the men's. Of course, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This one is the AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Austin Theory, Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, Elias, Finn Balor, Jeff Hardy, Jinder Mahal, King Corbin, Matt Riddle. What a fall from grace from him. Was Universal Champion less than a year ago. Montez Ford, Shinsuke Nakamura, Tucker and the Velveteen Dream. And it was a decent pre-show matchup that saw Bronson Reed win the Battle Royal in 14:30. The other members of the Final Four were Finn Balor, Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle. And Balor with the man being the final elimination, and also getting the most eliminations over the course of the match. Bronson Reed is your winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Someone that I like the look of him. I think he could be a massive player for us. He's sitting at roughly about 70 over, so the fans are recognising him, and I think he's someone that's going to have a good 2022. So a 77 rating there. Just the two pre-show matches, and they were the Battle Royals. Let's crack on with our main card. So we get the intro package, and then we get the people talking about what they're going to do in our two main events, the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship. Keith Lee says it was fantastic to become the Universal Champion, and it's bittersweet that he's going to be facing Roman Reigns, a man that's given him nothing but hell in the last 4 months. So he's going to not only defend his title, but he's going to get his hands on Reigns, and he's going to make sure he doesn't win the Universal Championship. On the Raw side of things, Randy Orton and John Cena, once in a lifetime on TW, and obviously they've faced each other many a time in one-on-one matches, but never at WrestleMania, so I wanted to do that one. John Cena obviously getting his way to the main event, although his actions in-game afterwards have not been great. Of course, the affair with Stephanie McMahon, which has really left Vince McMahon really pissed off at John Cena. And of course we can't have Triple H involved because Triple H is my user character in NXT, but Vince is fuming, and will Big Match John be able to do it one more time at WrestleMania? The good thing is this got a segment rating of 100, so that's already 90% of our angle, our best angle. So using this as like a kind of intro to shows has been very beneficial at pay-per-views, giving me a chance to at least get the crowd, get the positive rating, get the crowd behind us, etc. Opening contest, and we have an over-the-top spectacular entrance from The Miz. It's WrestleMania. I know these segments will always have the lack of anything interesting happening being a problem, but the reality is, it's WrestleMania. These angles will always happen. They'll always have over-the-top entrances, and at the same time, they have to go 5 minutes in-game. So I'll take the loss on them because it's WrestleMania. These things are happening. So a 65 for The Miz's Hollywood entrance. The opener was an exceptional matchup, and it saw Daniel Bryan defeat The Miz in 1954 by submission with a no-lock. So these two have been going at it because The Miz felt it was Daniel Bryan who cost him his Universal Championship by pinning him in the chamber and then eventually losing to Keith Lee. I think the 82 has been limited. I'm worried that the announcers, because they're not the greatest, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett in the match deserving better announcing, is effectively costing me here, and I'm worrying that might cap the main event at 82 as well. But of course, 19 minutes and 54, just under that 20 minute mark, that could be it as well. The new product says we can't achieve world class scores unless it's over 20 minutes, and of course because we're 1 day away for that, there's obviously bits of that that's taken effect already. But you've got to put everything in the card, and I think if you had lots of 20 minute matches, you'd be a bit aggrieved. Another reason for Daniel Bryan taking the win is to get him in the main event, because a lot of them don't have great psychology. Daniel Bryan does, so I'm hoping he can pass those tips over to people and at the same time get us some really good main events. Next up, we had some 6-man tag action, and this was the end of the Great War between the Disciples of Rollins and the Undisputed Era against the Magnificent Seven. And it was about that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd as Adam Cole, Seth Rollins and Murphy defeated Walter, Timothy Thatcher and Marcel Barthel in 2022 when Seth Rollins pinned Marcel Barthel with a Phoenix Splash. An 80 rating is very good there. Adam Cole off his game. You see the good performances there, especially from the likes of Cole, Rollins and Walter, but the babyfaces prevail. And after the match up, it's just basically a case of a promo from Cole and Rollins just saying that's it, it's over and done. It was a good alliance together, but both factions will be going their separate ways. So in 81, they have won the war, and the Magnificent Seven, well, we'll see what happens with them because there's a draft coming up and people are going places. Next up, we have Paul Heyman on the stick, and he's just basically bigging up Brock Lesnar. He says they've got a match up tonight against Andrade. Andrade just basically being a fan of Brock Lesnar. Now, the problem with Andrade, though, is 1 week before WrestleMania, he has suffered chronic shoulder pain on a house show, so he's already going to be limited. Add into the fact, he's facing Lesnar, who won't take too kindly to him. So an 87 rated matchup, add an injury in, I felt like simple, effective, an exceptional matchup. Lesnar squashes Andrade in 7:15 with the F5. It makes me have Brock Lesnar again as a massive threat. If need be, I may as well use him while he's still got good attributes. The 71, obviously, you take a big toll from Andrade's injury. I'm going to try and just kind of give him off television or take him off television until he's ready and fully healed. And the lack of psychology, which again is going to affect a lot of matches, but yeah, disappointing they had that, even though it was only a 7-minute matchup. So the two of them takes probably about 8-9 points off of that. But Lesnar wins, and another big win at WrestleMania for Brock. Moving along, we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line, and another matchup that seems to have been destroyed by the announce team. And it was Jay White defeating Karrion Kross in 1952 with the Blade Runner. Jay White makes defence number 5 of the IC title. At 77, I think this is mostly matches at 20 minutes, which is going to be a pain in the ass. I should have made it more. But I'm just happy to keep the title belt on Jay White right now. And I personally feel like, if I'm being honest, Kross needed something big at Mania, so having these two together, I was hoping to have a really good matchup. But yeah, a pretty good thriving IC division on SmackDown. Must be added as well that SmackDown's going 3 hours after WrestleMania, to obviously make up for the fact they're doing pay-per-views, so they'll be getting most people in the draft. We've got a few matches back to back, so it will be less angles, a lot of matches to get people on the card. We had a fatal 4-way match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It was a poor matchup that saw the team of Santana and Ortiz defeat Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Usos are Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, and 15-54 when Santana pinned Xavier Woods. They make the 6th defence of the SmackDown Tag titles. They've been doing great. I just felt like I was going to have a lot of changes to the title belts over the show, and this is one I could afford to keep on Santana and Ortiz. But a pretty good tag division on SmackDown. Certainly they're a lot better than the Raw tag division. They don't even have a match on this pay-per-view, so that would give you the extent of how that division's went. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this one had subpar wrestling and little heat, and it saw Dakota Kai defeat Asuka, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in 12:03 when Dakota Kai pinned Alexa Bliss with a top rope splash. Second defence of a SmackDown Women's title for Dakota. You can see there in terms of in-ring performance, her and Asuka are above the rest. A 59 was the match rating. The initial plan was actually to be Asuka v Dakota, but they have negative chemistry together, so I thought, you know what, let's add in Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, and we'll see what we can do with them going forward. So a 59, Dakota Kai remains your SmackDown Women's Champion. Moving along, we had the United States Championship on the line, and this one was hampered by the lack of psychology, but it was a superb matchup that saw Angel Garza defeat Eli Dragunov in 25:51 with the El Morito, meaning that Angel Garza is the United States Champion. So an 82 here. Garza's still repping nearly 90 overness, so it's a very over guy getting the US title, but I just feel like having somebody with such star power, having the belt, can obviously elevate that and elevate any potential challengers. And it leaves my options to be open with Dragunov if I want to have him feuding with Garza, and then hopefully he can maybe benefit from that or other programs that may come his way on the future. But new US champion, the psychologist probably took about 4 or 5 points off that, so maybe an 86. But regardless, a win for Angel Garza, who celebrates after the match. 83. Moving along, we have the over-the-top spectacular entrance for the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and that was a 67 WrestleMania. Of course, he's going to have a spectacular entrance, hampered by the lack of anything going on. So Bray Wyatt will take on Edge, and that matchup was exceptional. The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeated Edge in 15:32 with a Sister Abigail following a botched interference from Beth Phoenix. So a 78. Announcements hampered this one. There was a lack of psychology, which I'm very surprised at with both these performers. I'd expected both to have had a good psychology start, so baffling there. Edge is really getting on now, as you can tell, with the visibly tiring after a 15-minute matchup, so I think we've maybe only got a bit of another year out of Edge, and then we'll maybe look to just let him go when his contract expires. Storyline behind this one basically kept calling Beth Phoenix up from NXT, basically Bray using her as a pawn to get in Edge's head, and yeah, you're not going to put Edge over Bray at WrestleMania, you've got to put the younger guy over. So a win for the Fiend in this instance. Vince McMahon then has a promo, 87 rated, and it's just basically Vince telling us about the draft, just reminding everyone that on Monday Night Raw we shake things up. We're moving into a new era, the wrestling era, because obviously we're moving towards classic balanced, which gives us a lot more wrestling matches. So on a 180-minute show, we're probably looking at about 120 minutes worth of wrestling. That's usually what I use for Raw and NXT, and we'll carry that over to SmackDown. So getting people over, people have been more judged on performance rather than popularity as well. I think it's 65-35. But we'll look at that when we go to the main screen as well, because the product should change. So just Vinnie Mac reminding us. Next up we had the Raw Women's Championship, and I actually thought this match was going to do a lot better. But anyway, decent matchup. Rhea Ripley defeated Chelsea Green in 1818 by pinfall with soul food, meaning that Rhea Ripley is the Raw Women's Champion. So the Royal Rumble winner challenged Chelsea Green, switched brands, and she has won the Raw Women's Championship. So a 62 rated matchup. 70 played 65 in terms of performance. Rhea had a strong connection with the young female demographic, so that's quite cool. She's got that in this. Why? Would Chelsea's stamina and inconsistency really have hampered the match that much? I'm intrigued by that, but 18 minutes, it was giving them a showcase, and yeah, Rhea picks up the victory. I'm looking forward to the Raw Women's division going forward. Without people that have been traded over anyway, you're already looking at, Rhea, Ronda, Becky, Sasha, Bayley, Shayna, Chelsea, and there's more coming as well. So it's going to be a very, very stacked division. Charlotte's going to stay on SmackDown, but I want to kind of make Raw like the more complete women's division, SmackDown to be like in transition. But there'll be the likes of Asuka already there, and they'll be kind of helping put people over at the same time, having good matches, and hopefully her skills can move people over. So yeah, delighted with that. Rhea celebrates for 79, so that's very good from Rhea. Fairly over segment there. And then we have a promo from Drew McIntyre. He says, "It's a shame he never got that one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania, but this is a massive opportunity that was put together at the last minute. Basically, I kind of needed to put a few people in the card and decided we'll have a 6-way match. The winner of this matchup will receive a championship match at the next pay-per-view, whichever brand they may be on. So it could be a Universal Championship match or a WWE Championship match for the winner." So Drew's promo was an 82. Match itself was a 79. It was a good matchup that saw Big E defeat Drew McIntyre, Otis, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and Jacob Fatu in 1946 when Big E pinned Johnny Gargano with a big ending. Match again deserved better announcing, but 79's I'd probably say reflectable in that one. Big E and Drew are obviously great in-ring performances. They're very over, but the likes of the other four are still work in progress. Gargano's been putting a lot of people over, so he's maybe that hit to his popularity. But looking forward to this programme going forward with Big E. More on that at the end of the episode. And his promo after the match just saying, "I'm going to win the championship." It's going to be interesting to see which championship that'll be, but boy am I ready. And that's an 81. Then had the Battle of the Horsewomen, and it wasn't that great, which is quite disappointing. Decent matchup though. Bayley, Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte Flair defeat Ronda, Shayna, Marina, and Jessamine Duke in 1753 when Charlotte Flair submitted Marina Shafir with a figure 4. I actually wanted her to go over Shayna, but Shayna wasn't too happy. So a 60. Best performances, Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. Not too bad from Charlotte, Sasha and Bayley. Well, Bayley was the worst of the match, so that kind of gives you an idea that I've not booked them too great. Negatives, let's have a look. So I didn't want to change Charlotte to a babyface. I felt like she was kind of like a kind of forced babyface in this instance. She's like helping her friends just to get on the WrestleMania card, but she really couldn't care. She wants championship, so you can lose some points for that, and a few others there. So that's fair enough. I accept that. But I want to make this matchup happen at least once in the save. There's so many matches, it's kind of like just get it over, and done with. Make it happen at WrestleMania because it has to, and then he can move on to fresh new programs. And after the match up, Becky and Charlotte just shake hands with Sasha and Bayley, so that kind of way like, oh, it was good to team up, good to have this moment, and they'll be mostly going their separate ways. So that's a 60-rated segment. Keith Lee's promos. We're up to the co-main event, Keith Lee versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Keith Lee just basically stating what he said on the intro to the show. Roman Reigns cost him the Universal Championship at tables, ladders and chairs. He cost him the Royal Rumble victory. Keith Lee then had to get through the Elimination Chamber just to get that championship. And look who's waiting for him at the end of it, Roman Reigns. So it's time for Roman Reigns to get what he deserves. And this is Roman Reigns, Keith Lee, Universal Championship. It's going to get hit by a psychology. Apparently I can sense it, but can it still get a good rating? No, an 80. Exceptional matchup. Keith Lee defeats Roman Reigns in 23-21 with a power slam. Keith Lee makes defence number 1 of the Universal Championship. So, lack of selling is not good either. That and the psychologies probably took us down for about 90. So, you can see what I mean by Daniel Bryan getting to that main event, because Daniel Bryan's not going to be there forever, and I need people with psychology to carry these matches at times. But Keith puts in an 87, Roman with an 89, and disappointingly just an 80 rating overall. Thankfully, not our main event. Selling, psychology, announcing, it's a shame. Really good feud. I really enjoyed booking this programme. They may actually have stuff going forward together. I haven't actually decided the pay-per-view schedule post WrestleMania just yet, as in what the pay-per-views are going to be called. Of course, Deadly Games was an event that we had last year. I'll see where I'm going to go with them. All down to this one. Make or break on the pay-per-view main event. Randy Orton's promo, 82. He just says it's disgusting what John Cena's done. You know, Vince McMahon's given him all his trust. You know, he's a great friend of Triple H's. And look what John Cena's done. He's took Stephanie and now he thinks he's going to take the championship as well. Ain't going to happen. So 82, here we go. Once in a lifetime. It's my first ever time using this. I don't even think I used it in TEW 2016. How will it go? 82. I mean, I said I was hoping to get a 100 rated matchup. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. But let's have a look at a few things here and see what could have been. And about that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Randy Orton defeats John Cena in 24:06 with an RKO after John Cena was turned on by shouldn't laugh at that, by Vince McMahon. Randy Orton makes defence number 4 of the WWE title. So I'm looking here, 82 is obviously what it's capped at, so I think that might be down to the announced team. Both guys scored a 100 rating, so to me that tells me they're both over and the once in a lifetime absolutely worth. However, the lack of selling, the lack of psychology, and the needing of better announcing I think has all cost it multiple points, whilst obviously them having good chemistry together has lifted it. So if I go to the dirt sheet, I'm pretty sure that's everything that will flag up. There you go. Selling, psychology, Cole, Barrett and announcing. So I need to look and go, right, well, is there anyone better than Michael Cole? In real life probably, but in game is there? And while Wade Barrett was a nice idea, should I look elsewhere regarding that? And of course we need to turn Vince McMahon. 7 segments. Success. He is now a heel. He's aligned with Randy Orton. And we finish the show, Randy and Vince celebrating. Possibly similar to WrestleMania, oh god, 18? Whatever one Austin turned heel, I can't remember. I should know, but I don't. In fact, it won't be 18 because this is 38, 2022, 17? Was that roughly 2-man power trip time? overall, 91. We don't get that elusive 100 show. And again, you're wondering, how the hell did you get 91? Also, by the way, best ever show, that 91 I think. Adding all the boosts with the celebrity, the band, and all that, plus the 100 rated promo at the start. It obviously gave us a good opportunity. Matches maybe didn't greatly deliver as much as we wanted, but we are going to be changing product now. This is the last of that particular product. This is our new product, and as soon as we hit Monday, week 1 of April, this is basically going to a new era. Get it, as Vince would say. But yeah, this could probably go maybe even over 30 minutes because we still got a lot to cover in terms of building up to a brand new era. New wrestlers coming to the main roster, more emphasis on wrestling. I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's have a look and see what pops up. There we go. So World Wrestling Entertainment have decided to fully adopt a new approach, taking on a style that one backstage insider has called classic balanced. Fans who have been paying close attention will know that the change has been slowly introduced over the past few months to make the transition easy. The company hopes this will lead them to new successes. So to give you an idea, it's the exact product I use in NXT, that's why I changed it. Company's very over though, like 81 pretty much in most places. Canada's the only place we're not over, so we can afford a few poor shows. If we jump to the product quickly then, so 80% matches, 20% angles, TV 75-25. Matches are based on a ratio of 40-60, 55-45 in terms of in-ring action to popularity. Fans will be upset by dangerous, controversial or bloody match types, so mostly just wrestle matches we're having then. So we have to go over 15 minutes for a world class score. Cinematic there, so I'm look to see if they still have gimmicks. One match is to be storytelling. We don't need to have storylines because I've obviously turned them off. Company be attractive to sponsors. Attendance levels are strongly affected by the state of the industry, so we have a booming industry, we're laughing. We can use crazy bumps. Oh, that's fair enough. I quite like looking at that, and obviously main event spotlight type focus as you're well aware of. That's not bad, so I can just put more money into, with 71 million, I can put more money into our media, which I do every month just to give us maximum exposure. So Wardlow joins NXT. I don't know what his name's going to be, if it's going to be something Wardlow or just Warlow or something. Product change. Get Madison Miles and Christina Von Eri suffering injuries. Otis says that Ruby Riott has a lot of charisma. And Becky Lynch says Johnny Gargano has money in his promos. Viewing figures was 10.4 million and we had a buy rate of 5.74, which was 2.8 million. We quickly jump to here and we go to our top 100. WrestleMania 38, by far our best show, by 2, over the Royal Rumble. So that's good that most of our good shows are pretty recent. They're pretty good Raw as well. Top 100 matches, yeah, none for WrestleMania, which is poor, but is what it is. Second highest ever show, Survivor Series, still leads the way. Buy rate, absolutely smashing everything else. And TV rating at the moment, WWE SmackDown just dominates. And there you go, the viewership of WrestleMania dwarfing anything else. 2.1 million more than the Rumble on the network, and 3.2 over the Elimination Chamber. So that's good to know that Mania. And look at the gap, 5.8 for WrestleMania 37 to 10.4 for Mania 38. I'm just going to look at people that are active wrestlers. We'll go major stars as well because I obviously don't want to keep these here the whole time. What a gain for The Fiend, by the way, up to 94. He was sitting about 89 odd, so that's pretty good that he's there. Adam Cole, nice little gain. Andrade, not too much of a loss. Garza in the 90s, Becky 78. Big E, oh my word, look how over Big E is. I cannot wait to utilise him. Brock just in the 88 to 90 bracket for overness. Daniel Bryan, anywhere between 87 and 92, falling as one over The Miz. Drew solidly at 91s. Edge 88, 89s. Jay White not too far off it. Cena in the 91s. Karrion Kross a wee bit down, but he's popular in places. Keith Lee, holy cow, 87s, 98s, 96s, he is over. Matt Riddle, you can see a lot of light blue as well, in a good position. Vinnie Mac, did he gain with that turn in the main event? Because I've started using them, look at the pop gain just because I've been using them. Randy Orton, 94s, 95s in there, even a 96. Roman Reigns, 90s. Ronda, 82s to 84s. Seth's picking himself back up. And The Miz as well. If anyone wants to know how I've been doing this, I think it was the patch that loosened the pop caps. And after that, the move to Titanic is just basically went another level. People have been getting over this through defeats. I don't know if that's something that's meant to happen. But yeah, ever since that 1.17 patch, I think it was, came along, we've been absolutely thriving as a company. Well, a lot of wrestlers getting over, which is good. So pay-per-view schedule, your next event will probably be a Raw branded pay-per-view followed by a SmackDown one. What order that'll be in, as in pay-per-view, will it be Deadly Games, will it be something else? I don't know. I'm going to go and change that just now. But these are the on paper draft moves that I am making. These are subject to change, so these may not be happening by the time that pay-per-view comes along. But to give you an idea, Raw's going to be taking Billy Kay, Braun Strowman, Matt Riddle, Karrion Kross, Priscilla Kelly and Raquel Gonzalez, all 3 members of the New Day, Damian Priest and his manager Scarlett, NXT superstar Ricky Starks, and at the moment I've got it down as 2 luchadors. I don't know which 2, but it's looking at the moment either 2 out of 3 of Flamita, Dragon Lee and Bandito. From SmackDown, after their matchup at TakeOver, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Andrade, Seth Rollins, Roderick Strong, James Drake and Zach Gibson. They'll have to lose the Raw Tag Team Championships first, but they'll be moving to SmackDown. Dana Brooke, Io Shirai, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, and Ivelisse Velez. NXT will be taking back Tommaso Ciampa, Murphy, 2 guys that are in rehab at the moment, Angelo Dawkins and John Morrison. They'll be taking back Tucker, and they'll be taking back Marcel Barthel. Now these are just the ones that get written down. There could be more to move as we really try and freshen things up going forward. But overall, I hope you enjoyed that. It's quite a lengthy video, I admit, but it's WrestleMania, it tends to have to be. But I'm happy with where we're at. Yeah, I just need to make sure we get people with psychology in the main event picture. And just make sure our matches are good, because it's not even a case of, oh, I want to just get 100s. I want to try and get the achievements in the game, you know. And it's not even as if it's like 100 rated match, it's like lots. So it's a challenge, and it's one I hope to try and accomplish in our journey together with the WWE. So thanks for watching, take it easy, and hopefully I'll see you for that next pay-per-view coming up in a few days time. So thanks again, bye bye.